Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I am doing a review of Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 1 Episode 8 Reunion, which was directed by Stuart Lee and written by Christian Taylor, and was released on June 18th, 2021. So yeah, it was another great episode of The Bad Batch. I'm going to be talking about spoilers for the episode, so if you don't want to be spoiled, click away. But, before you do, I guess it is a great episode. But anyways, in the episode, the Bad Batch and the Crosshair and, the Empire's, pass across again, which, that was, great. I really, loved, seeing that and those storylines crossing and a bunch of other, storylines also getting, moved along, like the Kaminoans and whatnot, what's going on with them and whatnot. But I say this like every week, but I really like how the series is balanced a lot of stuff from the humor, action, drama, characters, fan servicey moments, I guess, and just really everything. And this episode was once again a great example of it. I like, been really loving all the humor, comedic moments and whatnot. It's great. It's, it just works so well. Just how just seamless it is. The humorous moments are to, everything else. And it doesn't, take away from any moment. Obviously I'm so fine with humorous moments, what, are very much fully just meant to be humorous moments and nothing else. But, this series so far has done a good job of, being seamless with those moments, and I really like it. But, also this episode had a lot of great tension to it and whatnot, mainly because of, Crosshair and the Empire going to Bracca and confronting the Bad Batch, and, just how the Bad Batch, tries to get away, and, how, they have to one-up Crosshair and whatnot. But then the ending of the episode was just great, and once again also very tense moment, because Hunter and Omega get split up from the others, and, they head to their ship, and, they get there first, where they find a bunch of dead clones. And, Hunter says, it wasn't the Scrappers, which then it cuts over and reveals that it was Cad Bane, who, returning for, I believe, the first time since, like, the fourth season of the Clone Wars, which is just, I was so excited to see him. But, after, like, him and Hunter have, like, a Western, face off and whatnot, which, Cad Bane shoots Hunter in the chest and, captures Omega. Which at that moment, I did think for a second that Hunter did die. But, obviously, he didn't. But, there was also a scene earlier in the episode with the Kaminoans talking about sending a bounty hunter, another bounty hunter, revealing that it was also them who sent Fennec Shand after him, which is what I guess. But which I thought, I was thinking throughout the episode if we would see that bounty hunter, and with that mention like that, I'm like, it's either gonna be Boba Fett or Cad Bane, and was happy to see that blue cowboy hat wearing bounty hunter again. And his droid, Toto, I think is his name, 360, who was once again voiced by Seth Green, and also Cad Bane was voiced by Corey Burton again. But I just loved the scene, and just seeing him again. I just was so happy. For this review, I wrote a crap ton of stuff about just Cad Bane and talking about him. But I wasn't even talking about the episode. I was just talking about Cad Bane and bounty hunters and whatnot. So I just I copy and pasted it and, put it in another notepad, and I'm gonna, polish it up a bit, add some stuff to it, and do a video on Cad Bane. Probably sometime next week before the next episode comes out, maybe Tuesday. So yeah, but I just really love that scene, and I just really loved a lot about the episode. And just also the runtime was the normal, like usually episodes on Disney Plus, it says like usually like 26 to 30 minutes, but that's with credits. But this one was like 23 minutes without credits. Obviously with credits it was like 26, 27 minutes. But the episode it felt a lot longer than 23 minutes. There's a good bit happens, and it felt like it was almost 30 plus minutes, which is nice. But it was a great episode. I don't really have much else to say here, so I'll get into the breakdown, which the episode starts as Crosshair on Kamino going to Rampart, telling him that they found that Clone Force 99 is on Bracca, and he asks him if he can bring clone several troops of clones with him, and Rampart agrees, and Rampart at the moment is talking to Lama Su, and Rampart orders Crosshair to kill Clone Force 99, but Lama, I don't ever know how to pronounce it, Su tells him that it would be good to capture them and instead, because they could be a great asset for them. But Rampart doesn't want anything with that, just wants them dead. Which then it cuts back, on Bracca, where we see Wrecker teaching Omega how to disarm an explosive, which, he sets one, and, Omega panics and does it wrong, which, they run to cover and it explodes. But it's a smoke grenade, and you see Wrecker, laugh about it, pranking Omega because Omega thought it was an actual explosive. But then Echo comes and tells them that they need to get back to the Venator, which we then see some of the Scrappers spying on them. So they take them on, stun two of them, but a third gets away and goes to the speeder platform thingy. And so Wrecker jumps and grabs on, is hanging on to it, but the Scrapper eventually shakes him off, but it distracts him, and so Echo is able to stun him, which we then see them back on the Venator, and they put the Scrappers in this corner, and Hunter tells them that they're gonna scavenge the Venator and find any useful items that they can sell so they can pay off Sid and hopefully have some money left over, which they find a bunch of explosives and whatnot. But while they're doing that, Tech is on the bridge getting the power on, which he does, but then he calls Omega for some help, which once there, they Omega and Tech find out that some ships are coming and that they are the Empire, which we then see a scene with Lama Su and Nala Se, talking about how the Empire's plans are threatening their contingency plan, which is interesting. Definitely, obviously they've been kind of teasing at something going on with the Kaminoans, doing something, there, which it's neat to get, them straight up talk about and say that. But Lama Su, tells Nala Se that because of that he sent more bounty hunters to go after the Bad Batch, and that they need Omega back. Which we then see Hunter, looking at the Imperial ships with his binoculars, and he finds out it's Crosshair. And so then they try to sneak around the Venator to get back to their ship, which Tech slices into the Imperial's comms and finds out that Crosshair is trying to bait them into going to the hangar back to their ship. And so they head to the artillery tanks where, Crosshair and the other clones find them, and so Tech and Echo start to get the tanks up and running. But while Hunter and Omega talk to Crosshair, they tell him about how he's being controlled by the inhibitor chip. And he doesn't want to listen, so he starts firing at them, which Tech gets the tanks up and running and fires them, which makes the area start to crash down, and it knocks Crosshair out. And so the Bad Batch are able to escape, and they head to the ion engine chamber. But Crosshair wakes up and knows exactly where they're going, so he heads there and gets into a sniper position. And while the Bad Batch are trying to climb out of it, he starts sniping at them. And so the Bad Batch have to come up with another plan, which, while doing that, Crosshair gets the engines started. And so the Bad Batch come up with a plan quickly, which is to use the explosives to blow up the engine chamber, which they do, and then it falls down and whatnot. But then the blue engine stuff blasts out and injures Crosshair, while the Bad Batch land safely. But Hunter and Omega land in different spots, and so they talk over the comm and both agree to head back to their ship. But then you see Crosshair tell them to turn the engine off, but whatnot, and then he tells them to get to the ship before the Bad Batch arrive, which the one clone with Crosshair calls a clone who's guarding the ship, but they don't answer, which then cuts to that clone who's dead on the ground, and we see Hunter and Omega get to where ship is, and they find all the dead clones, and then meet Cad Bane, who shoots Hunter and captures Omega, which we then cuts to some of the clones tending to Crosshair's injuries, which the special op troopers come and tell him that the ground forces have the Bad Batch on the run, which Crosshair then gets up and tells them to get him on the shuttle. But then it cuts, and we see through Hunter's eyes inside his helmet, while the other members of the Bad Batch arrive, wondering where Omega is and wondering what happened to Crosshair. And so they pick him up and get him on the shuttle, where they sit him down and take his helmet off, and he says, he captured Omega, and Wrecker asks him if it was Crosshair, and he says no, it was a bounty hunter, and that they need to find her. And that's where the episode ended off. I really like that last scene inside Crosshair's helmet, I guess, and whatnot. But obviously this, it was a great episode. Obviously, it was really enhanced with Cad Bane returning. That made it go up a notch. But it was also great with the Empire, Crosshair, the Kaminoans returning, also moving those plot lines along and whatnot. So yeah, it just was a great episode, and all around and whatnot. So yeah, but my grade, I'm gonna give it an A. So yeah, anyways, I'll be returning next week for the 9th episode. Got 8 more episodes left of the first season of the Bad Batch. So yeah, I'm excited to see where the show goes. Obviously, the Bad Batch, their next objective is rescuing Omega, but which obviously we'll see Cad Bane again, but so excited for that. But yeah, anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. You can check out all my other Bad Batch reviews and whatnot, but I've been Star Wars Review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
And Crosshair.
Your move. We're all you need.
I want Clone Force 99 found and wiped out.
The galaxy's a dangerous place to be.
We need to get out of here.